Hi folks, Ed Rocknowski here for Long Range Pursuit. The tech tip of the week is going to be for your do-it-yourselfers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make an inexpensive gong steel target. What I've got here is the main ingredient is I salvaged an old disc blade off of a farm implement. It's made of very good high quality steel, has a really neat ring to it. So this is our main deal, but you can find something in the scrapyard or something you might have laying around. Next thing I have is just a piece of mild steel. It's roughly 4x4. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to weld this over the hole to basically cover up the hole in the disc blade. Now once I weld that square on here, what I'm going to do is on the back side, in that hole, I'm going to weld a soft grade 1/2-inch bolt into that piece of steel. So the back side would look like this. And when we go to assemble this, it'll make a lot more sense to you. Now, the next thing you need is you need roughly about 1 length of pipe. And this is 1.25 inch, schedule 40, but it's reject pipe. A 21-footer pretty much makes exactly what you'd need if you do the spacing accordingly. The next thing is a piece of conveyor belting. And you can see I punched a series of holes in it. And again, when we go to assemble this, you'll see how everything works. Now on this particular deal right here, if you can't or you don't have access to belting, one of the things that you can use is an old rubber mat that you have out of the back of a pickup truck. It works very well also. If you live in a place where the conditions are very, very windy, you might want to make this belting a little bit wider, maybe 6 inches wide. Now, the easiest way I found to put holes in the belting is I've taken a little piece of 1/2-inch pipe here and I've sharpened one end. And what I do is I take this belting in about 4-inch spacing on a soft board and I just punch holes in it. If you try drilling this belting, it gets a little tough. So making a punch is well worth your time. Now, once you get all of these parts assembled, the only thing you have left to do is to paint the thing and set it up out on a range and go shoot it. Hi folks, here we are. We've got all of our parts that we assembled the other day. And now we're out at the range and we're going to put this thing together and we'll show you a few quick little features about it. Number one, if you'll notice on the upright, there's a longer leg and a shorter leg. Just make sure that the longer leg goes to the back, okay? Because when the target is impacted, a lot of times it'll knock the target over. If you'll note up at the top here, all I've got is a piece of pipe up here. There's no bolts or fasteners. And what this does is it kicks down, it pinches on the bar and locks it in place. All right, all that is a number 5 piece of rebar. We slip the rebar into the belting, then carefully, without pinching your fingers and everything, you kick the supports out, and it pinches down on here, and it holds everything in place. Now, if you'll notice on this target here, I do not use chains or any supports to hang off of the bar. I use a piece of belting. The reason I do that is you can hit this multiple times with a bullet and it won't fracture or break or anything. Now, if you're in real windy conditions, I would suggest making the belting a little bit wider, okay? Now, on the back side, all we've done here is I've welded the bolt, of course, on the piece of steel in the front. And I've looped this around in case we need any more belting. And I didn't do it now, I forgot about it, but you can put another bolt in here, you can have a spare bolt. Now remember, this is nothing more than a disc blade off a piece of farm equipment. It costs very, very little money. You might have to pay scrap prices or you might have one laying around some neighbor's farm or whatever, you can pick them up. These are made out of a high-grade manganese steel. They have a really distinct ring to them. This is a very budget-orientated type project here, so we don't have very much money in it at all. We got reject steel pipe, an old piece of rebar, piece of belting. It doesn't get any cheaper than that. Well, let's get to ringing this thing.